It's the BWI Daily Edition. I'm your host, Thomas Frank Carr. Today is de facto Christmas Eve with Christmas on a weekend, which is for everyone in America. Like, we don't even get the day off. Come on. But we're not here to complain. We're here to celebrate. And with the class of 2023 just wrapping up, we are going to give the superlatives of the class. Ryan Snyder, as always, joins me on Friday. We are going to discuss the class superlatives for 2023 right now. BWI Daily Edition. We're going to keep things a little bit light today. Not a very long show, but first and foremost, I wanted to wish you, our loyal listeners, very happy holidays. And Ryan, Merry Christmas, buddy. Thank you so much for all your hard work this year. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys.
Back at you, buddy. Good work.
So let's get into it. Class superlatives. This is a fun show. I'm excited to talk about this. We're going to go with your superlatives. I will not be able to help myself, and I'll give my opinion throughout the show, but this is your list of superlatives. So let's get to the class and start with the head of the class.
Right.
What do we got here?
So for head of the class, you know, it's really just kind of the top guys. You can I look at this in different ways, whether it's different leaders or just the top ranked guys, whatever you want to call it. But for me, it's hard to separate Jven Williams and Alex Birchmeier. I feel like you can make a really strong case that Birchmeier's the best lineman. You can make a really strong case that Jven's the best lineman. For me, it's just really hard to separate them. The most important thing I think Penn State fans need to know is that Penn State has two very good linemen that can probably come in here, play for 2 to 3 years. And, you know, if they reach their potential, I think they have NFL potential down the road.
I've been going 1 and 1A, but you're right in terms of both of these guys. When you get into the conversation of the two of them, Jven is so athletic that then it sounds like Alex Birchmeier isn't athletic when you talk about them, and that is absolutely not the case. Both these guys are so good. I think you make a great point about both of them being the head of the class and being the kind of bedrock of all of this stuff. We talk quickly. I want to ask you. We talk about these two, and we talk about this class, and we say stacking classes. Is their fit with the class of 2022? Is that really how that works for this group? Because I wouldn't say that this group as a 2023 class is kind of on the level of last year, but they do have these two guys which complement that class, I think, in an important way. Is that a fair way to phrase it?
I mean, JB and Drew already played over 100-plus snaps this year, right? So, I mean, they've shown the potential. I think fans are very excited about Drew Shelton. Drew Nelson, sorry. I'm out of it. It's Christmas Eve, celebrating, right? Not Christmas Eve, but it's almost is. Anyway, I mean, yeah, look, Drew Shelton, JB Nelson, they're both going to play in different roles. I think Shelton is certainly a tackle. We'll see if Birch or Jven stick at tackle. But, yeah, I mean, there's certainly, without a doubt, two very quality offensive linemen coming in. I haven't even mentioned Anthony Donkoh, who I said on the live show the other night. I mean, I don't know if he has the highest ceiling of them all because these guys, could certainly produce in a lot of different ways. But Donkoh, man, I mean, if he reaches his potential and really takes it to coaching, that's another guy who really could take it to the next level.
All right, so let's get into our next superlative. Most impressive get in this class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just look at this as, you know, maybe a recruiting battle or I mean, there's a lot of different ways I look at this one too. But I'm going to go with Tony Rojas just because of that recruiting battle with Georgia and Clemson. Penn State did what Penn State often does, and they got on Tony Rojas before the vast majority of top schools noticed how talented he is. He comes up for a camp, runs some really impressive numbers. Penn State offers immediately, and they were the team to beat for 7+ months, I think it was, going back from, I think it was the end of July into March. And then Clemson offers. Clemson is, without a doubt, sure, they haven't had the seasons they did a few years ago, but they are still a top dog in this game. And then Georgia is the top dog in this game. Georgia really made a strong push, made him think a lot. Georgia has so much to offer in every way, from NIL to facilities to everything. And Penn State was able to beat them out. And then we also just consider the little battle that Penn State's had with Georgia in different ways this year. It was big for Penn State to beat the Bulldogs and get a top 100 player.
Dakari Nelson, we talked about him on the live show on Thursday night. Just for me, that player profile, Penn State getting a jumbo-sized athlete in the secondary. I think Fitz said it best last night. If he can stick at safety, that's what you're looking for. That is the NFL prototype, what you're looking for. So there are a lot of really impressive players in this class. And if it wasn't redundant, you could even say Jven Williams, one of the top 10 players in the nation. That's an impressive kid as well. Okay, so next up we have biggest surprise in this class. And I was running out of ideas with this graphic. So who's the biggest surprise for you?
Just K'Veon Keys. Sean and I talked about this on the live show the other night. This was a massive roller coaster that when he decommitted, everybody that I talked to, I literally think I asked this question to 3 people on the same day, and all of them were like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I think our time, our opportunity of getting K'Veon is basically passed. And this was a handful of the first days in December, excuse me. So within, 4 or 5 days of him decommitting is when we were really asking about him. So the fact that he then decommits and turns around, commits to Penn State pretty quickly, it just gives a lot of credit to Alan Zamitis. We talked about that, and everybody in Lash. During the signing day press conference, talked about Alan Zamitis and the role he played in this one. But K'Veon Keys, I thought they were getting him in June, and then I thought, they might get him after his official visit, which took place in October. And then sure enough, as everyone said, a real roller coaster. They get him when I was least expecting it, and people that had a role in this recruitment were not expecting it either.
So our next superlative here, not best smile or most likely to be president. It's playing above his ranking. Who is playing above their ranking in this class?
Mason Robinson, man. I think this is a guy. Yeah, this is just a guy that we have really rated way too low right now at 0-3. And I have to, I've already bugged Charles Power about him 4 times in the last week or two, so we'll see. The ratings will be re-ranked in, I think, mid-January after the All-Star game. So let's see how it shakes out. I just don't think they have seen a lot of his updated film. But right now he's 644 in the country for the On3 consensus rating. And then On3 actually has him lower than quite a few others. We have him as an 86. An 89 is the highest 3-star. So a mid 3-star there. I just don't think it adds up when you see the film, you see the production he's had, and then he's coming from a McDonough school that's consistently produced players who have made an impact. So I'll go with Mason Robinson as somebody who I hope On3 gets this rating right. I really think they need to update that. But as of filming this, I think that's off a little bit.
All right, let's go to the player that's going places. And we don't mean the transfer portal, so don't freak out. Which is the player that is going to be moving from where he's listed right now?
Yeah, so Matthias Barnwell's the easy pick here just because of how many times we've talked about defensive tackle, we've talked about offensive tackle. We know he's going to start out as a tight end, and I hope that for Matthias' sake, because he wants to play tight end, that it works out there. We'll see long term, especially when he gets in that weight room program, when he gets into those nutrition programs. Does he keep the weight off? How does he look? I just think long term, this is the prototypical kind of offensive tackle that's getting massive money in the NFL. So if that's what shakes up here, and he embraces that and he takes to the coaching, who knows where it'll shake out. The one other thing I would just mention too, the one other player, Lamont Payne was listed as a corner. I think Lamont's going to end up being more of a safety down the road. And then also Jameel Lyons. Jameel Lyons is sat at 240 pounds for a year plus now, so who knows, maybe he won't grow. But I do feel like once he gets into this system, again, the weight room, all the nutrition and those kind of things, I could see him getting up to 265, 270, and maybe bumping inside.
He's got a huge frame and super long arms. However you find that player, finding a guy with length on the interior that has quickness, explosion, and can hold up against the run, you want to hit a home run. That's how you hit a home run with a football player. Okay, instant impact player in this class. Who is it?
So I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here. We talked about Rappleyea as a guy. I mean, that room is so deep, but I just think Rappleyea physically is ready to make an impact, of course. But I'm going to go with King Mack. I just feel like he can make an impact maybe in that nickel role. We saw Daquan Hardy do that early on. Daquan Hardy had a good season. I wouldn't say that he's really taken a lot of steps forward compared to where he was a few years ago. Still a good player. I don't want to come off as I'm knocking Daquan. But I do feel like King Mack can come in here and push him next year. Obviously, that safety room is deep. The whole defensive back rooms are deep. But I wouldn't be shocked at all to see King Mack get into that nickel back role, make some impacts early, and then earn some more playing time as the year goes on. And then, oh, by the way, he's taken multiple kicks back for touchdowns, multiple punts, I believe it is. So maybe on special teams he could do it as well. But the real highlight, and Sean and I both agree on this, is this class doesn't really have those instant impact guys like the last class. When you just look at those top guys in the program, Jven, Birchmeier, Tony Rojas has to add weight. The top two guys are offensive linemen. King Max, I think the fourth ranked guy in the consensus. He is a little bit smaller, but he can make. I do feel like he's a good enough player, a smart enough player to make some sort of an impact.
This video in the BWI Daily Edition is brought to you by Collegiate Athletic Travel. For those of you who haven't made your Rose Bowl plans yet, here's the deal that's going to get you to L.A. the easy way, and at a price you will not find anywhere else. $895 is what's going to get you out to L.A. $895 nonstop via Southwest Airlines charter flight from Harrisburg to Hollywood Burbank Airport, L.A.'s easy in, easy out airport. Departs December 30th. The seats are limited and the time is limited, so make your decision now. Return January 3rd. Book now. Only a few seats available. Visit Collegiate Athletic Travel at athletictravel.com. They have been a partner of Blue White Illustrated for many years, so make sure you check them out and support them. People who support us, please support them. Help the cycle of support keep going. We have one more superlative. It is biggest upside in this class. Where are we going?
I'll go with two guys. We'll make it quick. I think Anthony Donkoh, if he takes to the coaching and is able to, just refine the little things, continue to grow and progress, the ceiling is incredibly high. And I know we could have done him for highest ceiling, or we could have done it for multiple different superlatives that I think we cut out, basically, if you look at Greg's superlatives. But I really like Donkoh in a lot of different ways. Just his movement skills at 6 foot. I mean, he's pretty much just under 6'5". He's like 6'4" and 7'8", something like that. He's right there. He just moves really well. He's got long arms. I believe he ran a sub-5 shuttle, which was pretty good at that size back at camp this year. And then Cam Wallace. We don't know a ton about Cam Wallace. I'm still trying to learn more about Cam Wallace, but you have that 10, 5'6", 100-meter time. He plays running back as well, so I could see him getting on the field maybe earlier than expected. Not sure if it'll be right this year, but I could see maybe in 2024 him making an impact, especially on special teams and other different ways. But those are two guys that, man, if they really take to everything that comes with a college football program, I could see them really blowing past their expectations. Is it capable for Cam Wallace to be a traditional back? And I know that this is, you just said, still learning more, but just based on what you've seen and kind of what you've heard, I know we like the physicality. Can he get big enough? And that's the biggest question we've been asked about him. Yeah, I mean, there's been small backs in the past that have bulked up enough. I'll be really honest with you, T. Frank. I've never seen him in person, so I know it's just really hard. It's really hard to answer. When you're able to at least see him at camp or whatnot, and you can see their build, and you're like, oh, this guy can stack on 30 pounds easily. I've just never seen Cam, so I'd like to say, Jven Snyder knows a lot more than I do about what he can bring to the table. I don't think they're bringing him to the Big Ten if they don't think it's possible, but he certainly has to add on weight. But again, they're bringing him because of his speed, and they're going to find ways to use it.
BWI Daily Edition. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to like the video. That'll do it for us. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.